Hi everybody, welcome back to Tunes Reviews. Today is 5 fragrances that make me feel some type of way. Now, we all have fragrances that make us feel good, that make us feel sexy, that make us feel like we're at home. They feel like a piece of us, a part of us, an extension of our personalities, an extension of a characteristic that we may possess. And when it comes to these fragrances that make us feel good, that make us feel whole, there is nothing more rewarding than feeling confident in who you are. And this extra layer of contributing an attribute to your persona that comes from fragrance and seeing other people enjoy what you're wearing as much as you are is just so cool. Without further ado, let's jump into my 5 fragrances that make me feel some type of way. Disclaimer, there is a ton of fragrances that make me feel some type of way. But these are the 5 that I have really been reaching for as of the last, call it 3 months, that make me feel a little bit better, a little bit more whole, a little bit more myself. Coming in at number 5, we're gonna go to the house of Tom Ford. This is a house that I absolutely adore. It's beloved in my book. It's something that I really resonate with. And this fragrance especially, you've heard me talk about it a million times. But this is really when I start to grab for the fragrance more. I don't actually wear this very often in the winter. This is more like a spring, summer, fall type of scenario for me. And for a lot of people, I'm sure that seems kind of bizarre given the nature of the type of fragrance that it is, but it is none other than Tuscan Leather. This beautiful raspberry and leather-based fragrance is something that I will always hold near and dear in my collection. This makes me feel like $1 million. It makes me feel like a man. Not that a woman, or however you identify as, non-binary, whatever, anyone can pull this off. Obviously, fragrance is all subjective. However, when I wear this, I feel like I've just worked on a muscle car all day. I've got maybe some gasoline or oil on a rag in my back pocket, and my jeans, have some stains on them, and my hands are filthy, and I'm wearing a leather jacket, and I'm smelling, the leather interior of the muscle car that I've just been working on. So this is very much like an oil and leather and raspberry type fragrance to my nose, and I just absolutely love it. Coming in at number 4 is a newer acquisition for me, but I'd gone through 2 5 ml decants of this fragrance in the last probably 6 months, maybe 8 months at most. So I could tell that I really needed this, like in my collection. Needed, right? Okay, yeah, you need this fragrance like you need a sharp stick to the eye. But I regardless, I really loved this stuff, and I really wanted to add it to my collection. And it makes me feel really cozy and sexy, and like you're getting ready for one of those days where you're putting your feet up in your comfortable clothes, watching Netflix or playing a video game or something, and just decompressing and feeling sexy and comfortable in where you are in life. That's this guy right here, Parfums de Marley. I'm sure that a lot of people would consider this to be something that they would wear on like a date. I most definitely would. I'm not saying that this is always super casual, Tim, laid back, wearing nothing but a plain white t-shirt and some, gym shorts or whatever. But this is something that makes me feel absolutely comfortable in who I am and where I am in life, and whatever it is that I'm doing in that present moment, being present. And so there's nothing sexier than just like allowing yourself to be in the moment, right? So Herod is something that allows for me to enjoy the little things. Number 3 is a fragrance that I found pretty close to the beginning of this pandemic, and it just makes me feel happy. Absolutely happy. I'm 100% super like cheeky smile when I wear this fragrance, and there's nothing sexier than being happy and smiley. Tell me what's sexier than a good smile? I need to know what your favorite fragrance is that makes you feel happy. Comment down below. But this fragrance has done something to me. This fragrance is something that I find makes me so incredibly happy so quickly as soon as I put it on. And there's pretty far and few between fragrances that do that for me, where it like literally just shifts my mood entirely. But this stuff is magic. This is from the house of Gallivant, and this is called Los Angeles. This fragrance is absolutely delectable. If you're looking for a neon, bright, citrusy, floral fragrance that's kind of coconutty, kind of almost mouth-watering, then look no further. This is absolutely gorgeous. I only have one gripe, and that's that these bottles need to be bigger. Because I would go through a 3.4 ounce or 100 ml bottle so quickly. I put a pretty good dent into this 30 ml bottle, considering that I also had the travel discovery set of the entire line, and I went through Los Angeles like it was nothing. This fragrance is so delectable to me. It's absolutely incredible, and you're gonna see this doing very well on my spring and summer list. But yeah, absolutely sexy, absolutely happy, gorgeous, incredibly beautiful fragrance. I am so happy to have a bottle of Los Angeles. I highly recommend it. It is one of my favorite finds when I had been testing out fragrances in 2020, especially when I was down and out, you know, feeling depressed about this whole pandemic crap. This was definitely in my top 5 favorite finds of 2020. Number 2, we're gonna go to the house of Guerlain, which is kind of a no-brainer in my mind. Guerlain makes some of the most incredibly sexy, incredibly sultry, beautiful, amazing, magnetic, alluring fragrances I've ever tried in my entire life. I mean, if I only could choose one house, even one line, the Art and Raw Materials line would probably be it. I mean, even over Tom Ford. I absolutely love that line. However, we're not going to the Art and Raw Materials line, and we're also not going to be in a signature line either. However, we are going to go and visit Gourmand Cokin. Now, I got this bottle about 4 years ago, and when I had recently talked in a video about how I would wear Guerlain's Angelique Noir while playing video games like Borderlands 2, or watching movies and kind of being a hermit inside and like learning to love myself, that's what that fragrance really reminded me of, and kind of coming out of my shell with more floral-based fragrances, you know, especially being a younger male, thinking that, you know, you can't wear fragrances marketed as feminine, but I don't, you know, thank God I got over that, right? Like, we all come into our own. But this is the same scenario. I found this fragrance at the same exact moment that I found Angelique Noir, and I absolutely fell in love with this. Now, this fragrance is essentially a rose, cocoa, and rum concoction. It is absolutely stunning. The only thing that I will say that's kind of a detriment when it comes to this fragrance, the Achilles heel, if you will, is that it does not perform super well. I get about 6 hours longevity on my skin, and the projection is like moderate at best. Gourmand Cokin, though, this fragrance reminds me of self-reflection, and there's nothing sexier than being able to reflect on oneself, to progress and grow, and look at yourself in the mirror and acknowledge that there are things that need to change, there are things that, you know, you need to utilize in order to come out of your shell, to progress. And this fragrance really reminds me of that. And I love wearing this whenever I'm doing something like writing a script, or kind of contemplating or pondering on something that's kind of a life-altering scenario. So that, to me, is just so incredibly important and pivotal in one's life, is to self-reflect, and this fragrance reminds me of that. Gourmand Cokin. What makes me feel sexiest as of late? Well, this is the validation. Really, validation or instant gratification isn't all that pretty. It's not necessarily something that you need in your life. All those other things that came prior to this, for each of the categories that I had just mentioned about those other fragrances, really are so much more important than the artificial surface level compliment. However, there is something to be said about a fragrance garnering you positive attention. And there has been something that has just been killing it lately. Every time I wear this fragrance, all my coworkers say how good I smell. All my friends love this stuff. My fiance loves this stuff. It has absolutely 100% positive outcomes every single time I wear this. This fragrance and Baccarat Rouge 540, which is not on this list, are probably, you know, two of the most mind-blowingly amazing fragrances when it comes to garnering positive attention. And I would have never really guessed with this one. However, the performance on this is freaking beast mode, out of this world, wicked good. And on top of that, the fragrance just smells incredible. But it's more of something that I found myself allured to, and then realizing that I felt sexy with what I was wearing, everyone else also kind of picked up on that I felt more confident, and also they just love the smell of it. So without further ado, quit your yammering, Tim. We are talking about Nichané's Ani. This fragrance right here, let me tell you, I have brought this with me camping in the middle of nowhere. I have brought this on overnights when I have to go work on set for a commercial. I've worn this in a more professional setting. I've worn this in a more casual setting. I've worn this on dates with my fiance. I've worn this pretty much in any capacity that you could possibly think of. And every single time I get a positive remark. Now, that being said, should you care that you're getting a positive remark? That's entirely up to you. I mean, I'll tell you what, I enjoy a nice compliment. There's nothing wrong with it. This fragrance, to me, is one of the best vanilla sandalwood fragrances I've tried in a long time. It's very unique in the opening, and it just dries down to be such a beautiful, beautiful sandalwood vanilla concoction, and it's very ethereal. So if there's something that you're looking for in that vein, you know, ethereal, projects and lasts forever, has that vanilla and sandalwood combination, but also it comes off as being very unique. There's not a whole lot out there that has a freshness about it or a coldness about it when it comes to a vanilla gourmand. And this is a vanilla gourmand, but it also comes off as being very fresh and very clean, which is incredible. It's just such a good, well-balanced fragrance, and I highly recommend it to anyone that loves vanilla. I hope you all enjoyed my top 5 fragrances that have been making me feel some type of way. From 5 to 1, they are all winners in my book, and they all do an amazing job. It's just up to you as to which one fits your personality best. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you're all happy and healthy, and I will be seeing you all soon.